Okay, so welcome back everyone to our Rogue Trader playthroughs, episode number 67. Last time we arrived on Janus, learned that there's an Eldar posing as a mutant, and a bunch of other fun stuff. So I've already read everything that Vistenza said in the last episode, so now for our response. Not interested in your excuses, you want me to go off and catch some rebels for you. We'll hunt down the seeds of rebellion, I will get to the bottom of this, we'll track down these elusive I will. As for you, you will not be permitted to fail again. I'm removing you, placing you under arrest. No competent people to be found. I will get to the bottom of this. I'm sure the rebels will have something to say to the master of their world. Vistenzia inclines her head. I'm immeasurably grateful for your assistance, your lordship. If any of those who attacked the estate had survived, then perhaps they could have been a valuable source of information, but you made an example of them for the rest of the foolish rabble. Incidentally, I did overhear the wardens talking about some kind of stranger in the area. Besides that, we still do not know who let those reprobates into the estate. The person who did it might also know something. I, as well as my retinue, are at your service. My secretary is checking the staff as we speak and removing all traces of the attack from the estate. Steve Magos, who is responsible for agronomic efforts on the planet, is also here. He happened to be visiting this week to deliver his personal report, and of course, there's my aide in the war against the rebels, Yrliet. No doubt she'll be delighted to share knowledge of Janus with your lordship. Footfall station is on the verge of starvation. Could Janus supply the people there with provisions? Yes and no, your lordship. The question is, can such an expansive and fertile world as this one feed a few thousand void rats? Of course it can. We lose more provisions to gnawing pests every cycle than those on Footfall could eat in their entire lives. But can we ship said provisions? Not a chance. Any cargo shuttle that leaves surface will be a target for attack. Rebels will not hesitate to bring it down, sending flaming debris over the capital. Our silos could be targets of sabotage, food could be poisoned or mined. Logistics of transporting supplies to Footfall will only be possible once the uprising has been completely crushed. Tell me about Janus. Vistenza leans forward. Janus is a remarkable world, both in terms of its vast potential and in terms of the work that was carried out to transform it into an agri-world. House Viat has ruled on Janus for many generations, and each new governor has, without fail, contributed to the planet's taming. This world was once a wild planet full of xenobeasts and utterly unsuitable for growing anything. To this day, despite our best efforts, Janus regularly rebels against us. Earthquakes, tsunamis, the emergence of new pests and weeds that invade the arable land. Sometimes I cannot help but think this world is endowed with consciousness of a capricious and stubborn child who likes to spoil everything that we have achieved. What do you grow on Janus? Mainly Helican flint corn and red turnip. Apart from that, in the southern hemisphere, we have set aside vast tracts of land for the Grox population, and of course I cannot fail to mention several thousand acres of tilled land given over to cultivating fermentable fruit for personal use and limited export. Who is this person standing next to you? One of my ladies in waiting, Amelia. Amelia performs secretarial duties and helps me to remain in constant contact with those families who are most responsible for the productivity and prosperity of Janus. I trust my advisors implicitly, and over time Amelia has become not merely a faithful companion, but also almost my shadow. Losing her would be like losing my right hand. Vistenza laughs and gives Amelia an encouraging nod. Maid of honor, Amelia drops into a low curtsy. To bathe in the light of your greatness is a true honor, rogue trader. I must take my leave. I don't trust Amelia, honestly. Like, just being real, I don't really trust her. Alright, so let's go to our journal and see what we got. World Shapers. Agri-World of Janus. Additional information about the rebels causing unrest will help to narrow the search for the rebel leader's base. Governor, questioning servants and other key witnesses to the assassination attempt. It may be possible to extract key information from conspirators themselves, regardless of their vital status. The governor's aide. Says me should be in the gazebo.
A new challenge for
Janus Noble.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Trying to think here about how I want to approach this. I think for now we're gonna have to leave the governess's palace. Yeah, and we'll try to find some key conspirators and such. But first I want to find who this Yrliet is. I figured it would be too easy if this was just a calm, peaceful planet. It's never that simple, is it? Alright. Hey, Adeptus Sanctimonious, how come that heretic recognized you? You know, the one we've been down in that stinking lair? Strange friends you've got. That's all I have to say. Oh, that's cold. You have fallen for an old trick of the servants of chaos. Heretics often try to confuse the minds of the righteous when they're facing death. However, such a crude ploy would hardly work on Sister Argenta. Oh. See, here's the Vinzelix, tech priest, draped in a red cloak. Magos' body barely looks human. Wires, tubes, and metal manipulators turn him into a whimsical machine, while implants hide his face behind a sinister mask. Tech priest intermittently dictates something in technolingua to the servo skull floating next to him, but at your approach he falls silent and offers a reserved bow. Greetings, your lordship. Ex-mechanic Vinzelix, how may I serve you? Pascal and the ex-mechanic exchange trills of binaural greetings. The series of sounds issued by Vinzelix sounds much longer and more deferential than those of Pascal. What do you do here on Janus? The tech priest's mechanical voice comes from the speaker on his neck. By the order of the Adeptus Mechanicus, I have been entrusted with the management of the Adeptus Administratum in order to catalog agronomic data and analyze information about the planet during the process of subjugating it to the will of the Imperium. Be blessed, tech brother. Your diligence and the diligence of those like you turns anarchy into order and bestows classification of to knowledge. One of Pascal's mechadendrites slightly touches the Lex Mechanic's body. Tech priest bows respectfully in return, clearly a little startled. How many servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus are there on the planet? According to the data stored in my cogitator, all infrastructure nodes for food harvesting and processing have their own contingent of technomats. Total number accounts to 253. Correction based on the latest data, that figure is 211 units. Tell me about Janus. Initializing report. The planet's soil possesses a unique composition suitable for re-engineering of the planet. Mass production of foodstuffs. Significant cultivation of the Eastern Hemisphere with the aim of improving production processes and logistics operations. Traces of xenoactivity that do not pose an immediate threat to ongoing operations. Undesirable pathologies of flora and fauna have been noted, which may pose a threat in the short term. Traces of xenoactivity. According to data obtained during the initial survey, ruin structures of non-human origin were noted in different sectors of the planet, but I did not have the administrative capacity to study them in more detail. For now, I must defer the quest for knowledge. The ex-mechanic speaks the last words with distinct envy, his eyes fixed on Magos Hanuman. Genetic and chemical pathologies, aka what pathologies in the flora and fauna. Harmless species mutate and become aggressive, while plants change their chemical composition and become poisonous. It's happening more and more often, and if you do not take action, the ecosystem of the world will be irreparably disrupted. Changes may be artificial. Has the possibility been considered that someone is manipulating the ecosystem to reduce our living space? Not at all, Venerable Magos. Our tech comrades from the Magos Biologus are humble workers, not warriors. They could not have come up with the thought of such a militant nature. Mine must be open to all forms of knowledge. I order you to commence a check. In the event that your account of the indolence of their minds is confirmed, I will petition for the appropriate penance. Interesting. It's often what seem to be insignificant anomalies like these that lead to greater trouble. How is the governor dealing with undesirable pathologies? I have analyzed the genome of the affected species, and I am currently developing suppressor genes to make the planet's organisms resistant to pathology, but so far I have not been able to solve the problem. Further exploration of the planet would perhaps speed up these processes, but the administrative apparatus has imposed a ban on expeditions that are not directly aimed at improving production. I'm listening. How are things with you and your fellows? Current situation on the planet assessed as stable. Progress of prospects is assessed as encouraging. Thank you. Alright, it's good to know. Alright, I need the supplies. And let's start looking for Yrliet. Janus has quite a pretty looking air to it. Here's Yrliet.
Yrliet greets you, Elantark.
Bizarre creature before you only vaguely resembles a typical human. An elongated body, slender limbs, pointed features. Every aspect of its appearance is unnatural and alien. The creature turns its head to you.
Regrettable news. This creature is not a mutant as the locals assumed, but a representative of the Eldari, one of the myriad enemies of humanity. You should not trust this creature. Do not communicate with it any longer than necessary.
Heinrich tosses out some words in a strange language. There's a hint of musicality to it, but the interrogator's rendering is harsh and off-putting. Meeting the gaze of the unknown being, Heinrich turns to you.
There is no need to mutilate my language, monkey. I speak yours well enough to converse with Elantark without a translator. And since you have discerned my path, I will be direct in my speech. My soul is nothing kin to yours. Your kind call us Xenos, as if we are all as one. I came here to protect the Lilithon by assisting the governor against her enemies. Will you hear me, or be blinded to sense by your precepts?
10 seconds to get out of my sight, Xenos, starting now. Nope, not gonna do that. Because that's just stupid, turning down help that we kind of really need. Think about this, and then act in an intelligent manner. As difficult as that might be for some of us, like Heinrichs, it's going to be a bit more difficult to just justify putting Yrliet down and saying, nope, screw you. Because, truth is, we need that help. Illustrative on Valancius, nope. I can speak with you, I will speak with you. Yrliet Lenavis, but keep your hands where I can see them. You have no desire to fight. That is one thing we have in common. Attack, I don't converse with enemies of humanity. I'm not that blinkered or stupid. Because, I mean, we probably would have struggled a lot more if she wasn't such a crackshot, and she has been helping out. Now, this does mean that this is all that's going to happen, but it's still a good idea. She's not going to turn on us. It's a good idea, though, to cross that bridge when we get there. So let's keep going with some caution. I will speak with you, but keep your hands where I can see them.
Reckless.
but necessary.
Must I remind you, Master Van Kalox, that the warrant endows rogue traders with the sacred right to have dealings with Xenos when necessary? That exceptional memory of yours seems to have let you down.
Boy, Abelard's really pushing him down for the count. This man's got it going. He's right though. It's not going to be a shortcoming of mine if I were to work with Xenos. The big problem is how... What's it called? The big problem is how... Great, my brain's not working. The big problem is not that I deal with Xenos. The big problem is that we need to be careful with those dealings.
I have banished the shadow of doubt from your thoughts regarding my nature. Now you will answer my question. Why have you sought me out?
Die, Xenos. So you're the governor's mysterious helper?
I am Edaug-Ethanb. My hand parried the death promised to the ruler of these people, and I aided you in battle against the Lost Ones.
Why help us?
This world is in distress. I wish to protect it from unnecessary suffering.
How did you come to be on Janus?
The world you call Janus was once created by the will of my kin. I have far more right to be on the Lilithon than any of you.
So it's a maiden world. Got it. What do you know about the rank-and-file rebels?
Only that they threaten the established order. There is much risk to this world should the ruler die.
Yrliet's face is unreadable, but you detect strange tension in her voice as though she is choosing her words carefully. Do you know who's behind the uprisings on the planet?
There is a malevolence here that drives your kin down the path of violence.
Your answers are not particularly helpful.
But you are not asking for help, Edaug-Ethanb. You are merely asking questions, the answers to which are either unimportant or wreathed in shadow. Explore this place. Speak to those who know. A simple task for you, and an insurmountable challenge for me, since my very appearance provokes fear and suspicion. When you learn anything, tell me. Perhaps then my answers will be helpful to your search.
Why do you call me Edaug-Ethanb?
Because that is what you are. Edaug-Ethanb means stranger from the darkness amidst the stars. You descended on flame-winged machines in a dark time when the air of the planet is soaked in blood and pain. Will you be the one to bring peace to the Lilithon?
Spoke to the Magos in charge of operations on the planet. He says something's gone wrong with this world. There are spontaneous mutations, animal attacks. Maybe you have something to say about that?
The Lilithon is expressing her wrath. For centuries, this world has resisted the brutality inflicted upon it by soulless machines and unmindful creatures. But what the machine man told you, that is something else. Something more frightening. The planet is fighting an evil that has taken root in its very cradle.
If you won't join me, none of the locals will dare to look askance at you and the rogue trader's presence.
So be it. I will go with you.
Yrliet is silent for several seconds, her gaze fixed on something beyond you, slowly drawing out her words she replies.
With all due respect, are you sure this is the right decision? We know nothing about this Xenos, or why she has wormed her way into the governor's confidence. As far as I can tell, she isn't especially keen to help us, and yet, for some obviously dark reason, she has decided to take part in our investigation.
My judgments and choices are for me alone, Monkey. If uniting with your master will bring peace to the Lilithon, then it is the true path. Do not get in my way if you value your next breath.
Both of you shut up before my head explodes.
You have not yet spent enough time among humans if you think threats will dispose me more favorably toward you. The decision is yours, rogue trader. But let me be clear. I will terminate your pet Xenos at the first sign of her non-compliance.
I am ready, Elantark. Let us go forth.
Yrliet's abilities. Yrliet is a Xenos, one of the Azuriani. She is a ranger who follows the path of the outcast, and her skills in ranged combat are without equal. Yrliet does not use human weapons and can wear either Eldari armor or, if she learns the required feature, Drukhari armor. Yrliet's ability instantly ends her turn. However, at the start of her next turn, she will make an attack that always hits its target. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually going to drop... You know, yeah, I think dropping Adira is the right move. Give her some time to recuperate. I want to keep Von Kalox with me. Okay, so she's got everything. Assassin, Bounty Hunter. Feel like, what's her, summary of Yrliet? She's nothing. For obvious reasons. I feel like Bounty Hunter is probably better for her. Call the Bold, Piercing Shot. Spoils, Gruesome Kill. Critical Hit. That, Wild Hunt. Let's go to Inventory. So Yrliet's got Dari Ranger Armor, Xenos Shrieker Cannon. Or an Eldari Long Rifle. Okay, let's get her Stim, Grenade. This is a Wanderer's Portent. Get that over to her. Can't give her any Wraith Bones, but I can give her this Trojan's Manual. Let's see, what else do I want to give her? Probably a Force Grenade. No, just a regular damage grenade.
With yours, for now.
Okay. Otherworldly silence reigns under the arches of the gazebo. Perhaps a sound barrier generator is mounted in the dome. The ivy covering the archway gives off a delicate and heady fragrance, although you do not see any flowers. No flowers, obviously, but that's fine. Okay, so a couple of Cyber Skulls shouting my praises. Destination attempts the governor's own estate and on the road trader's visit. No less, perhaps it is linked. Hold on. To this Quint. We'll talk with him in the next episode. Till then.